So many people wanted me to cover this, so I'm covering it. Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now on this channel we have covered many different fan comics and fan interpretations of the Dragon Ball story. We've looked at Dragon Ball New Age, we've looked at Dragon Ball Zero Tibetan Edition, as well as, of course, the absolutely brilliant tome that is The Legacy of Yamcha. That manga in particular was the brainchild of one Dragon Garow Lee, once a fan artist and now the darling of the Shueisha Dragon Ball room. Now speaking of Dragon Garow Lee, he is not a newcomer to the world of Dragon Ball fan manga, oh no. Much like Toyball, who has now become Toyotaro, the fan manga artist who is now the artist of a Dragon Ball Super, Lee started making his own comics to the beat of his own drum. One of those mangas is the subject that we're covering today, and thankfully has been translated into English by the user 007LTF. That is Dragon Ball Sai, the Prince's Great Adventure, also known as Super Vegeta Den. Prince, eh? I like this premise already, Masako. Tell me more. Okay, I shall do so gladly. As you might have gleaned from the title, this story is all about Vegeta, not Goku. Wait, what? How on earth did that happen? Well, it's quite simple, really. It's all about one of the most straightforward and quite possibly one of the most ingenious what-if scenarios there is around concerning Dragon Ball. What if the roles were reversed? What if Vegeta and Goku swapped lives as babies? What if it was Vegeta that was sent off to Earth instead of Goku? Goku would have taken Vegeta's place alongside Nappa and Raditz, serving most of his childhood under the servitude of Lord Frieza. Judging from initial suppositions, things might not have necessarily been identical to the stories. You can't just swap the characters and expect the same things to happen in the exact same time. Remember, there is a huge power gap between Vegeta and Goku, especially when they're children. Also, Vegeta is a lot older than Goku, about 4 or 5 years older in fact. Vegeta was born in age 732, to Goku's 736 or 737, depends where you read the source from. Although for some reason the manga tends to negate that fact and chooses to make Vegeta a baby at the same time as Goku. Worth remembering right now if you get a little confused later. For the longest time, there was no true English translation of this manga. You might have had a couple of pages here or there, or some very badly translated ones, but nothing that you could really truly rely on. And there are 4 chapters of this, and those chapters get quite sizable later on. There is a 5th one knocking around somewhere, but it's yet incomplete. If you have found a complete version of it, do let myself and the people in the comments know. However, I did stumble upon the first 2 chapters translated thanks to 007LTF. And thankfully, due to the fact there's so much more attention about Dragon Ball Sai, I'm sure that we'll begin to see more and more translations and higher quality scans of Dragon Ball Sai. In fact, if you're a translator out there and you like what you see, I implore you to translate this manga into English in its entirety. The community needs you. Now, the majority of what takes place in Dragon Ball Sai is around the time of Dragon Ball, so before Z. It's years before Saiyans even figure in this part of the story. So for those thinking that we'll immediately see Goku and Vegeta going at it and fighting each other, then you'll be sorely mistaken. I'm just getting that fact out here now instead of later. There is also a special chapter 0 of the manga that I will cover at the end of the video. I'm just going to give you chapter 1 right now so you get an idea about what we're going to expect. That chapter 0 gives you a little more detail about how Vegeta got on Earth in the first place, albeit it's untranslated and lower quality. Okay, without further ado, I present to you Dragon Ball Sai chapter 1. The title reads, "What if the one sent to Earth was not Kakaroto, but Vegeta instead?" Here is the great earthly adventure of a Saiyan prince looking at Bulma standing off against her, in a very similar pose to what Goku and Bulma did in the original manga. Already I am impressed with this manga's premise. This could have been the way Vegeta and Bulma first met. It starts off with Bulma, almost immediately after meeting Vegeta, being whisked away by a hungry pterodactyl to have as his dinner. Vegeta looks on and slowly cottons onto the notion that she might want his help. Yeah, Vegeta, she kinda needs it right now. Not all of us pesky humans can take on a 500-pound flying dinosaur. Of course, this proves no match for Vegeta as he one-shots the pterodactyl unfairly in the back whilst catching Bulma in mid-air, who loudly exclaims that she has soiled herself. Nice. At least Vegeta's displeased too. We cut to a little later as Bulma is getting ready to wake up, and Vegeta is being his usual proud self, insisting that kids can drink coffee too! Wait, wouldn't Vegeta be aged 18 at age 750? Yeah, but he'd be actually older than you, Bulma. So if Vegeta is older than Bulma, then why is he so sure? Oh, sorry. Answer my own question there, sorry. Already we can see their relationship blossoming. Bulma looking down at Vegeta for being a proud, cute little so-and-so. Again, he's older than you, Bulma. The pair continue to bicker amongst themselves, with Vegeta complaining about how Bulma's motorized transportation is so slow, and she should get a move on, with Bulma naturally biting back. Ah, true love, they're at the bickering stage. Vegeta and Bulma find themselves at a familiar looking castle as they are close to the 5-star ball. Now, bonus points for anyone who can guess who this castle belongs to from this shot alone. Go on, have a guess. No? Not sure what it is? Well, don't worry, I'll give you the answer in a bit. Vegeta is totally not afraid and goes surging forward to get this whole ordeal over with, as Bulma skulks behind him in absolute terror from all the stinky ghosts and monsters. I mean, that's literally what she says. I didn't think ghosts actually had a smell, but there you go. For those guessing who this castle belongs to, your answer is right there. Ginger, Nikki, and Sunshow show up to ambush Bulma and Vegeta and take their Dragon Balls. Wait, does this mean... yeah, you guessed it. Garlic Jr. is about to rock up in this his house. Well, not before Vegeta force pushes the goons out of the way without even breaking a sweat. This naturally impresses the likes of Garlic Jr., and he comes down to see what all the ruckus is about. He spots Vegeta and congratulates him for killing his only guards. Okay, Garlic Jr., that's not the reaction I would have expected, considering that Vegeta just killed all your guards, but hey, to each their own, I suppose. If you're thinking that Garlic Jr. will kick Vegeta's butt and his immortality will rain pain down on Vegeta, remember that this is over a decade before the Dead Zone movie happened. Garlic and his goons haven't gathered all the Dragon Balls yet. In fact, they've only got one at the moment. Wow, it took them nearly 12 years to find all 7. That is not efficient. So yeah, Garlic powers up in his non-immortal form, which actually shocks Vegeta a little bit. He might not be able to... Yeah, don't worry about that. The little Saiyan Prince totally curb stomps Garlic in just a few hits. Garlic, now being totally shook nasty, calls upon the Dead Zone so as to dispose of this freak of nature once and for all. Whoa, Garlic Jr., steady on there, mate. Vegeta just hurled a few punches at you, and you are now resorting to your ultimate technique, calling upon a demonic black hole for just a small child. Now that is efficiency. Shame you couldn't use that same gusto to find Dragon Balls quicker, huh? Vegeta is completely unfazed, whereas Bulma is completely in the air. Again, Sai likes to have Bulma flying around a lot, huh? Vegeta pulls out the power pole and offers it to Bulma, who grabs it for dear life. With Bulma saved for the time being, Vegeta goes after Garlic Jr. and knocks him back into the Dead Zone with one almighty punch to the face. Yep, Vegeta's all about them one-hit KOs in Sai. With that, the Dead Zone is closed and Bulma is left reeling with the sudden change of events. Now all that for a pile of strawberries. Now that is commitment. All the while, Kami is looking down from up on the lookout and is glad he didn't have to get involved with Garlic Jr. for obvious reasons. After having dealt with his father, a reunion with that tyrant's son was the last thing on Kami's mind. Luckily, really luckily, Bulma finds the 5-star ball in the rubble of the castle as Vegeta looks for food. All the fighting made him totally hungry. He stumbles upon an apple tree. Remember what happened to Gohan in the Dead Zone movie? Yeah, the exact same thing happens to Vegeta. He's going on a trip. He falls down and goes fast asleep. With that, the mystical adventure of Vegeta and Bulma begins. Well, that's all very well and good, Masako, but what about the origin story? How did Vegeta even get to Earth in the first place? I mean, does that differ at all? Well, I'm glad you asked. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, there isn't a translated version of this Chapter 0 of Dragon Ball Sai. But I shall do my best to use basic understanding to try and figure out what's going on in the manga. Mind you, it's pictures. I think we can get a good idea. Ready? Let's go. It all starts with King Vegeta and Frieza standing off against one another, similar to the BORDON TV special. He is the last Saiyan standing, with Frieza taking out all of his guards with little to no effort. King Vegeta resorts to the tactic that his son used in the Saiyan saga, conjuring up a power ball that glows as bright as the moon. He hurls it out of the ship and uses it to change into the mighty Great Ape form, which, as you might remember, increases the Saiyan's power level by a factor of 10. You would think that would be enough to take out First Form Frieza, but oh my! Oh, that's not even close. Frieza, without any effort at all, chops off King Vegeta's arm with the greatest of ease. With that, Frieza finishes the job by launching a death ball directly at Planet Vegeta, and King Vegeta is the first to die. The Saiyan King reverts to his humanoid form as he then disappears into the blast wave, in a very similar manner to Bardock. In fact, it's almost shot for shot. Meanwhile, down on the planet, what looks like Vegeta's mother has sensed that her husband has been felled in battle by a great power. Ooh, that can't be good. Now we can have a good guess that this is Vegeta's mother due to the fact that she's wearing the Royal Saiyan crest, much like her husband wears, or wore more accurately. That and she's hanging around baby Vegeta, that's a pretty big giveaway. She is understandably horrified by this. She runs down to the pod depot, places Vegeta in a vacant pod, programs the computer to take this pod as far away from the planet as possible, outside of Frieza's grasp, and then just basically hopes for the best as her baby boy is whisked away to safety. She hopes. This is all done in the nick of time as Vegeta's mother then heads up to the roof, simply to bask, or more like cower, at the presence of Frieza's mighty death ball, which is coming down with a case of the explosions. Planet Vegeta is promptly blown up. After we see some more shots that are very similar to the BORDON TV special, we cut to a different planet where Nappa and Raditz are doing their Saiyanly duty of ending people. Nappa then receives the news that planet Vegeta has been destroyed. Raditz does not take this news well, he is seen to be in great shock. Nappa tells Raditz to do something which must be really important to the story and being developed later on in the Dragon Ball Sai story, but again, I don't know what it says, so... Oh, please, translators out there, get on it, please. In any case, we rejoin the story back on Earth with a naked Vegeta riding atop Turtle. It's confirmed a bit later on that Turtle must have found Vegeta floating around on sea in the pod. At first, Roshi is curious at the baby Vegeta, and you think that Roshi would be the one to raise Vegeta, but no. After being kicked in the face with great force, Roshi decides that being a parent is not for him, and then gives Vegeta to Grandpa Gohan instead. The rest is history. Wow, that was kinda cool. Granted that this story may have taken some elements from the BORDON TV special, as well as a couple of the movies, almost identically, but still, it comes off as a great package. It utilises foresight and Saiyan history much more effectively than the original because remember, Toriyama was making stuff up on the fly, he didn't have all this information to hand, whereas this story does, so it feels a bit more developed than Toriyama's original work. Now I won't spoil any more of this tale if you want to carry on reading, because there is a chapter 2, 3 and a 4, and if you find English versions of 3 and 4, then I salute you, and I hope that you can point me in those directions. Do let me know your comments and your thoughts about this, I am intrigued to hear your input. So what do you guys think? Do you like this story? Do you want me to go over other fan manga and stories? Leave a comment below, and let's get this discussion going. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later!